I know last weekend was one that was a little chaotic in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Have you sensed a little bit more routine kind of going into this week?
Yeah, I mean, last week was awesome. We had to live through it. There's so many emotions, so much celebration, and as a coach, it's kind of a lonely feeling because there's really nothing you can do, and it's so positive, and our guys deserve to enjoy the rink and to feel all the emotions and the pageantry. It was great, but unfortunately, we probably played our best hockey Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And it was just the way it is. That's so yes, things have settled down. It's going to be great for us to get on the road. I'm fired up. I'm bringing the boys back to my hometown, Detroit Lakes, for our pregame skate, so they can see where I'm from and let some of the people from the community celebrate our guys, which is pretty cool because without them, I'm not here. So, and then we go up and we'll be locked in to play Bemidji.
Just kind of looking back on the Ferris State, Ferris State series, what was your sort of takeaway from those 2 nights? I mean, obviously, a lot of it was just around this, right?
Yeah, but I thought too, you have 2 games where we are even in the third period. The crowd has come to life, and they're all sticking around. Anytime you lose in the 3-on-3, it's a bummer. But when you win, it's great. It's like a regulation win. It's just electric. Friday again too. We tied it. We felt like the emotions of finally arriving. Okay, we got this thing. We're in a good position. Shortly thereafter, we made some poor decisions, and that's where we are. We're trying to grow in that area in terms of manage emotions, manage a game. There are times in a game when you just need to have real solid shifts and set the next line up for success. We addressed it. We've talked about it. Our guys have taken ownership, and so has our coaching staff. And that's all we can really do.
I know the Saratory brothers are well known in the college hockey ranks, and I know you have history with them as well. Just story I read today. I know Tom recruited you coming out. Can you talk about the relationship a little bit between you and Tom?
Tom is an Iron Ranger. He's a relentless worker. He's a recruiter. You think of his days at St. Cloud State. He had a major hand in elevating that program. It's through his hard work, and he's just a really good guy. And I have a ton of respect. Like the investment he's had in me, and the time and energy that he's put into helping me develop as a professional when he really didn't have to. That sure means a lot to me. Nothing but respect for him. And Bemidji State, think of that. Like Bob Peters, the Division III program, had a high level of success. Now they come to Division I. It took them a little while, but in the big picture, it happened really fast that they ended up in a Frozen Four. And they have an identity. They don't waver. They recruit a certain type of kid, relentless, kind of take on that underdog mentality. They're not afraid of anything or anyone. They just play the same way, a great hard brand hockey. When they're in the national tournament, no one wants to see them. They knock off Wisconsin a few years ago. I mean, dominated. And that's because they've taken on the life of their head coach. And that's why he's still there. He's been there for a long time, and we're going to have our hands full.
And maybe more specifically this year's team. I mean, they have a goaltender, Matthias Schultz, really settling in right now here as he's gotten healthy in the second half. And Jackson Judding, I know, will be back this week too, is a leader on their team. What have you seen from Bemidji just this year? Obviously they're one of the top teams in this conference too.
Yeah, they're pretty dynamic in terms of it starts with their goaltender. Then you go to a veteran D-corps, but they sprinkle in a young Polkamp, who's one of the better freshmen in college hockey. And then up front too, they have some different types of players that you have to be ready for. Rhodes been one of the top players in our league, still a young player. And then they have, They have some skaters. They have some heaviness. They have a little bit of everything, which makes for a real challenge especially when you go into their barn.
I know you spoke a little bit about Eric, and you got the chance to play with him. And I talked with Eric too, and he had nothing but great things to say about getting to play under you for that World Junior run. I mean, what did you learn from him, and what do you really like about his game?
He's the ultimate competitor. He came from the back of the pack to rise to the top. Brainerd High School, goes to junior hockey, proves it there, honors his commitment to Bemidji State, steps in as a freshman, not intimidated, and he's just a darn good kid. He's really selfless, and he's going to be, as he continues to grow at Bemidji State, he's going to be one of those very valuable players in college hockey, and truly a joy to be around.
And another program too, Coach, Bemidji State is history here in all other sports, but kind of get to make your own history here. What does that sort of mean? And going back to even a place that you're really familiar with too.
The parallels and the similarities in our two universities and where they are, where we'd like to be, it's motivating, it's exciting. They've done it. They've lived all these things already. So they've in a sense paved the way. Fortunate enough for me that I can call Tom Serratori. I can call some of these people, and I don't know if it makes our job any easier, but at least there's hope, and it's certainly encouraging.
Have you had a chance, now that I know you lost a couple games, but have you had a chance to kind of reflect on what it was actually like, or think back to what the atmosphere was like, and just how big Augustana hockey was this last weekend in Sioux Falls?
No, it's not just this weekend, and that's a credit to our guys, because there was a heck of a lot of fans here. They expected us to win. That's pretty cool. 2-3 months ago, that wouldn't have been the case. Our guys have started to develop some of that, and our fans deserve that. They feel like we got a shot on any given night, and it's our job now to accept that. As we've noted, there's some expectations within our group, within our community, and those expectations are earned. Now we got to answer the bell. We're still young. A lot of these things are still true with the young program. Some of the challenges we're going to encounter, but we're game. That's what we showed up for. What a fun and exciting challenge we have. Our guys are positive. Our guys continue to work. We're in a good spot, and we're looking forward to this weekend. But not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but we have more home games here at Midco, and fans are still going to show up. The beer is still going to be cold, and it's going to get sold. So the atmosphere will be incredible.
And to kind of piggyback off that, I mean, looking ahead already at the St. Thomas, there's a lot of tickets gone already, and I'm sure more to come. That is exciting to know. You had a new program, and it didn't take but a second for the city to kind of rally around it.
Yeah, there's some people who came to the conclusion that Division I hockey would be a hit in Sioux Falls. They came to that conclusion years ago. They put an idea and a vision into motion. Now this community's proven them right. Fortunate to be the coach here that gets to stand on the bench.
Well, talk a little bit about hockey. How's Zach doing? I noticed he wasn't suited up Saturday. Kind of took an awkward hit, it seemed, Friday. Yeah,
Zach practiced today. He is not full strength, but he's moving in a positive direction. It was good to have him back out there because whenever you see your goaltender laying on the ice like that, it's scary, but he's resilient. He'll get back out there.
How'd you guys feel you did Saturday? It seemed like you filled in pretty well considering Zach wasn't out there.
Yeah, we have other capable goaltenders. I felt our group competed. It wasn't a masterpiece, but when you compete and you're together and you have heart and you have the momentum of a home crowd, you're going to keep it close. We pushed it into overtime and had a chance to win it, they capitalized, and that's the story of the weekend. But the bigger story is the fans and the support, obviously.
Well, and off that too, you talk about, I know you lost, like you said, it's still thrilling hockey. I mean, you think that kind of helped build it too, a sold-out arena, and then they get to see as good of college, as entertaining as college hockey comes, with overtime. College
hockey is extremely entertaining. In this venue, this facility, you're going to have a great time. I'm excited because these fans, they're along for the ride. When we arrive one day down the line where we want to, when there's banners hanging from the Midco rafters, all these fans are going to be along from the start. They're going to be the ones that help us to get to where we're going. That's awesome. There's no bandwagon with the fans that are showing up now. You understand? They are here from the start. They are behind us. We are definitely drawing from that. It fires us up. Recruits in the seats, they get it. That's how this goes. That's how you build. We're building our locker room, but we're building as a hockey community here as well.
Coach, I know you've spoken in the past about kind of limiting those mistakes as we get later in the game there as well, and obviously those are still learning experiences for the players, but when you talk about that ownership after those games and the players opening up, does that give you all right, we're moving in the right direction, there's still work we have to do, but we have the idea of what we need to get done as far as closing out games and making sure we limit those mistakes?
Yeah, and I mean, we talk, and we have an older group, so, and I'm a younger coach, so the gap in between is not as big as it is some places, and there's the right thing, there's the wrong thing, and then there's nothing. We sure as heck aren't going to do nothing, okay? There needs to be a day when we see it, and it's not like all of a sudden, aha. We have to be moving in that direction. Sometimes it's different players. Sometimes whether it's a penalty or whether it's just we become disconnected and make a misjudgment on a read. Whatever it may be, we have to identify it and try to eliminate it. And if we do that time and time again, then we'll start to look like what we want to look like.
Just one question. You talked before about these conference games, being really good measuring sticks to see where we're at with the program, and obviously you can take that away at the end of the year and see how you fared. But is it something too we go by week? All right, how are we measuring up with everybody? Almost measuring ourselves every single week when we're playing our conference opponents.
Yeah, and these are teams. Some of them I've played in the past, so I'm a little more familiar with their style of play, and all these teams have a style of play. Mankato has a new coach. Their style of play is changing a little bit, but once you get some history behind you, once you've been through a couple series, you're more familiar with what to prepare for. Travel becomes a little more comfortable. Just everything around the series, it becomes more normal, and we have 2 years to prepare ourselves for that year 3, and we should have a pretty good understanding of the league opponents. You're seeing it with St. Thomas right now, who's in their 3rd year of the CCHA. They now know what works within their system against some of these other teams. They're having a darn good season, and I think it's because they have a little bit more of that experience within the league.
I have a question, just to piggyback off that, and you guys still are holding the pen. It's your first year. What can you say as things are piecing together for you guys? What are the building blocks to the Augustana hockey team's identity?
Well, there's ink in the pen, and it's going to continue to write throughout this year. Not every chapter is going to be that fairy tale. Actually, some of our greatest growth will be from some of those chapters we write that are difficult and challenging. Our identity, I think, what's starting to develop here is a resiliency, a commitment to one another, a belief in team in this university. And the greatest thing about this group, and you see it with Denny Sanford and so many people in the rink, is everyone deserves a little time. There's a lot of people behind us going to work for us and this is so much bigger than just the 27 guys in the room and our staff. Our guys are really good about giving everyone some time and acknowledging them and just being humble, hardworking athletes. But I feel that there's just good people in this program as we start, and that's something we can build with, because like-minded people, similar people attract, and we want to bring more good people here to help us chase our ultimate goal.
Whether it's the Northern Michigan Series, Arizona State, you trip out to Colorado, you guys really do some different level of plays on the road. What is that sort of a testament to?
Our guys just like being around each other. They showed up here for an opportunity, a chance to play a sport they love. They get that opportunity. They don't care whether they're at the Denny. They don't care whether they're in Arizona State or Colorado, wherever they go. They just love the game, and I think that's why you've seen success. Again, we go up to Northern and we win the series there. Okay, we've played good hockey at Michigan Tech. Now Midco is our home, and it's new, it's fresh. That takes it to another level, because now we're amongst our people. But in terms of just to speak to your question, I think we've just happened to have success on the road. Our guys just like to play the game wherever they get a stick, a puck, and some ice.
Is that what to piggyback off that, those are some good teams you mentioned that you guys really played well against.
Yeah.
And, Bemidji's no different. They're a good team too. Is it, like you said, they're just having fun, or what is it that makes, you guys have really stepped up against some really tough teams this year?
Our guys are intimidated. They believe in one another. They know if they come together, stick together, and just live in the moment, they have a shot. They didn't know that early, but they were able to win a couple. And now they believe it, and there's an understanding that, hey, we're always going to be in this thing. They don't give up. How many extra attacker goals have we scored? How many third periods have we found ourselves in a tie game? Overtimes that we've gone to. We go to Notre Dame. You name it. Mankato. It's just the parity in college hockey is at an all-time high. We're fortunate to bring a group that's been through some wars through the transfer portal. And now they have a couple wins under their belt. They felt some success, and with that comes some belief. And I think our guys, they feed off that, and they just great leadership. They just keep going until the final buzzer, and that's all they can do.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.